Now this next tutorial will be called lifting out with tissue. It's quite handy if you're doing skies, or if you kind of made a mistake and you've got to re-wet the area a little bit and try and lift some of the paint off. Mistakes are not easy to correct in watercolour, so it's worth kind of pre-planning what you're doing initially and see how you get on. So all I've done with this one for lifting out with tissue is wet the paper as per usual. Once again, you can do it on dry paper, but if you're doing it on dry paper, imagine this being dry paper. You've got to have a fully wet brush, fully loaded brush with colour, and this edge, this leading edge, you've got to keep picking on that one as you come down. If not, then you find it will start to dry and you get streaky marks on there, you know, which you don't want. You don't want streaks. So we'll just wet the paper and we'll see how we go with this one. So I'm just going to pull the colour all the way down. I think I'll add a little bit of kind of raw umber in there. You see what I mean in a moment. Looks a bit odd at the moment, I know. So just to add a bit of colour in there. Probably a little bit of burnt sienna. I'm just going to vary it just because, oh, for the sheer heck of it really. And see how it goes. Now, the idea of lifting out, all I'm doing, by the way, is just filling the paper up. The idea of lifting out with a brush or with a tissue, with a brush you can just dab it and it starts pulling the paint off, and that's a dry brush technique on there, as you can see. If you use a piece of tissue, and all I'm going to do is a standard piece of kitchen roll, as you can see, crumple it up. I'm just going to crumple the kitchen roll up, and then you can dab little kind of cloudy areas out if you want to. If you make the tissue to a fine edge, you can pull out clouds which are lower down in the sky, because as the clouds come down lower in the sky, you will find the clouds get smaller, they get thinner the lower they come. The higher in the sky, they'll get higher, they'll get bigger and much more pronounced. So as a little tip, when you're taking clouds out, remember the lower down the sky, the thinner the clouds will be, as you can see. Don't take it all out, leave some sky in there, otherwise you'll be thinking, oh no, I'm taking too much out. But in this case, just take little bits, little wispy bits here and there, and see how we go. So keep changing your tissue so you've got a clean piece to work with. So that basically is lifting out with tissue paper. You can use a sponge, like a natural sea sponge if you wish, or a dry brush as well. Okay, have fun with that one.
I hope you enjoyed this little tutorial. Why don't you try out my other tutorials and have a play with watercolour? Take a look at my website to see what you can achieve with practice, and please subscribe by clicking on the link to the bottom right so you don't miss my next video tutorial. Thank you for watching.